Good morning. Hope everybody's having an excellent day so far. My name is Mr. Peden. I'm the head of upper school. I know Dr. Green and I, our assistant head of upper school, were able to come over and talk to you just a little bit not too long ago in the end of the first semester. But I wanted to spend some time today to share with you a little bit of the information about what life on Garth is like that we would have covered in our eighth grade preview day that we unfortunately were unable to have as we moved virtually at the beginning of this semester. So with that, today will be just a brief overview of what that looks like. We'll mention a little bit about courses for next year and what that will look like. But this is still early. We have not even officially begun our pre-registration period. So no need to spend too much time getting in the weeds of that today. We'll have additional time to meet with you, and Dr. Green and I will come over to Drake and spend some time helping you when that time comes. But today I wanted to just share a little bit of life on Garth and give you a little bit of a preview of that from what we otherwise would have covered. So let's take a little bit of a look of what we would have talked about on that eighth grade preview day, really about what life on Garth is all about. And I know one of the things that everybody looks forward to is the fresh homemade pizza that Mr. Keith and his fantastic food service crew make each and every Friday. It's a treat that we look forward to, and hopefully we can find a time to get you a preview of that prior to it. The freshman year really kicks off with a freshman retreat. We take the first Saturday of the school year and we go to Lake Gunnersville and a fantastic camp there, Camp Chalakee. And it's a day spent with your advisory group, getting to know each other at a deeper level, even those that you may think you already know. What we find is this freshman year is an opportunity to see classmates in a brand new light. And this really begins on this freshman retreat day. You'll also be able to get to know and spend some time with members of our senior class who have volunteered and given of their time there at the very end of the summer and the beginning of the school year to spend time with you, because they see how important that bond is and that relationship to welcome you rather than any hazing or anything that might take place, but rather welcome you to our campus, right? And build a positive relationship as you step foot in this new environment here on Garth. And really, it's a time to where they'll share advice and really form relationships that last. It's great to see freshmen walking the halls and a senior stop them a week or two into the school year or even later and just check in and say, how are things going? And they wouldn't have known each other if not for this time spent on the freshman retreat. So that'll be coming up very early. And then later in the year, we take what is the final class trip here at Randolph, and the only full class trip in the upper school. And that's the interim trip to Chicago. It's a city that's filled with culture and art, music, sports, theater. And we're going to sample all of that in that urban environment. And we're going to again spend time with our classmates, getting to know each other. It's one of those moments that many students, Randolph students, and even alums come back and mention their Chicago experience and the time that they have with each other in that environment. And so that will come up in interim. We're planning that trip and looking forward to it here in a little bit with the current freshman class. And we're already making plans for next year when you all are on this interim experience. And then advisory. I mentioned that a couple times. Our advisory is structured much the same way that you already know advisory to be, and that we're going to really deal with really three areas of school life. There are times where we're just going to take care of what needs to happen in school business, and course registration, that sort of thing will take place. And when we vote for offices and that sort of thing, that takes place in advisory. We also, the community activities, what it means to be a member of the Randolph school community, what it means to be a member of the larger Huntsville community. All of that we also package into advisory in that programming space there. And then finally, personal development, personal growth. We want to help you be the best possible version of yourself. And we recognize that that's going to take place in many ways: growth in the classroom, growth on the athletic field, growth in the performance theater. All of those places are great laboratories for personal growth, but we also want to use this advisory time as a means to do the same. And at the center of that are those relationships that are built. These are not just necessarily friend groups that are formed that you already have, because you already have those relationships. What we want to do is help you get to know your classmates better and learn from different perspectives as we go through this advisory. At the center of this is an advisor who will be your advisor for all 4 years of your high school experience. They're the person that will see you nearly every single day while you're here in the upper school. They're your go-to point person when you have issues or when you have problems, or quite honestly, when you're having celebrations. It's not uncommon as students or seniors that the first person they tell when they get into maybe a school that they want to go to, or get an internship or some great experience, that they run to that advisor. And it's a relationship that's built over the course of those 4 years. And so advisory is a really special program that really gives life to our school in many ways, and is the center point of how we really build our community centered in those relationships. You'll find out your advisor as we begin the school year. And like I said, they will be the person who is really going to be with you through this 4-year journey of high school. One thing that we're really excited about, and I'll have more information for you as we go through, we're making a slight change to one of our courses. We've always had a PE course. It's mixed with health and wellness. That's our health and human performance course. That's been a 1-semester course. Beginning next year, and you'll be the first class to experience this, we're going to go with a full year course called Freshman Seminar. The physical education, the health and wellness components that have always been a part of health and human performance will remain in this class. And in terms of graduation requirements, will still qualify for that. But what we want to do is be able to inject some other components into this class. And we're really excited for what that is going to be. It's going to include, really, on those initial first days of school, orientation into the Randolph Upper School. It's going to allow time to free up when you're doing other things, such as consultation time and meeting with your teachers in those first few days. It's going to free that space up to really take place here in Freshman Seminar. We're also going to do some speech, right? Some public speaking, as you will experience in many of your classes. There'll be presentations and the like that you'll do, and we want to help support you in that. And this is going to be a place where we can have a few sessions on that. And then also, and I think my face is covering it up a little bit here, but one of the other things we really want to inject into this are some study skills. We want to help you be a better student. We want to walk with you and talk about how you can take advantage of all the resources around you in the upper school as you work to be a better student, as you work through that personal growth that we mentioned here in your time in the upper school on Garth. Another thing about about upper school life is our college counseling office. You really will start to see college counseling as you get to be a junior and senior, as they're helping you navigate what's that next step after life here at Randolph. You'll start to see them a little bit in those early stages, but really by the time that you get to that junior year, you'll begin meeting with college counseling and looking for, what am I interested in? What are some schools? And one of the things that we notice is often students enter into that process knowing a few schools, just a few of those names that people know. And really, our college counseling office, Ms. Fornash and Ms. Bald, can really help you discover some incredible colleges and universities that you may not even know of, or that are not on your radar now, that really might be a perfect fit for you as you look at what's next beyond Randolph. And so that's part of life here in the upper school. We really sequence what will the next 4 years look like as we scaffold through it. Next year, there will be a lot of time, as even in the events I just mentioned, of transitioning to upper school and really becoming just a better student, a better person as you're in this community and in this environment. Even if you've been at Randolph since kindergarten, right? We want to help you grow and become that student that we all want you to be, including yourself. And in that 10th grade year, it's really, who am I and how do I contribute to my community, my school community, as we said, that larger community all around us. Junior year, we're looking at, what am I interested in? Maybe what schools would be a good fit for me as we begin that college counseling process, as we mentioned. And then in 12th grade, you're applying to those colleges and finding those results and working very closely with that college counseling office. And so they will walk you through really this sequence for the next 4 years. But the good news is you're a rising freshman. You're currently an 8th grader. And right now the focus is all about moving into this transition, making this an easy transition for you from the Drake campus to the Garth campus. And how can we help you become a better student in the upper school environment? That's where the focus is. It doesn't need to be beyond that at this point. You're going to be well served if you continue to develop as a student. That will take care of itself. So that's the sequencing of the next 4 years. In terms of who's here to help you, we have a lot of people here to help you. I've already mentioned your advisor, your classroom teachers, and a lot of others who will be here. But one of the things that is really important is our student support team. They work alongside me in this upper school office to really help you as you navigate the next 4 years. Ms. Maynor is at the front desk. You'll get to know her well as you check in and out during the school day. Nurse Deb Smith, you already know her, and she makes a huge impact and obviously has been incredibly hardworking over the last 2 years, keeping us to be a safe and healthy community. Dr. Green's our assistant head of upper school. Coach Morris is our dean of student culture. Mrs. Kemp is our learning specialist in the learning center. And again, I'm covering her name, but Mrs. Sheeler is our upper school counselor. These people are here to help you any way they can, any way to help support you be the best possible student and best possible version of yourself that you can be. And you'll get to know these individuals more. You'll see them in that freshman seminar. We'll all take some time with you in that class and in that role. Two other people to get to know are Dr. Charles and Mr. Davenport. Later in the year, we're going to have an orientation day to begin where you'll hear more from Dr. Charles and Mr. Davenport, who will share all the opportunities that are there for arts and athletics. High school, and especially at a school like Randolph, an independent school like Randolph, with the size that we are, is a fantastic time and a fantastic space. And we have a lot of opportunities for you to explore areas of interest in the arts and in athletics. There's the opportunity to do a lot, right? And it's also a time where we balance that with, if I want to do something well, I need to dedicate the time to it. And so we're also helping you learn how to make those choices between all those various opportunities, and how sometimes I've got to say yes to this or no to that to say yes to something else. And so there's a fine balance, but these two individuals do a fantastic job working with students, along with the coaches and the teachers, the producers, the directors, to make sure that you have an excellent high school experience. I did want to mention course registration. It's a little early, and so this is going to come a lot of information quickly. Don't worry today about all of this information. It's early. It's actually, we haven't even entered our pre-registration phase, but I want you to know, just in terms of as you begin to sign up, what courses, what the course load is going to look like as a freshman. And we'll come back and unpack this more at a later date in greater detail and help you pick your courses for next year. So there's not a lot to do there at this point, but I want to share this information with you. The timeline, actually right now, we're about to enter into pre-registration as we get into February. Teachers are going over and making approvals for courses. That really is a leveling issue. And when I mention leveling, I mean the different levels we have, from college prep to honors, and for our upperclassmen, AP courses. Teachers are working together really to make their approval of what course best fits each student. Now, we call them approvals and not necessarily recommendations, because there is a tendency, if a teacher says I should take this course, that I'm going to take it. And that might mean that when I add up all of those different courses that I take, all those extracurricular, say athletic or fine art opportunities I take, that's a significant workload. And so balancing that workload is really important. And I think one thing that you'll be able to work with your advisor now, but then also your advisor here when you get to the Garth campus. And so your teachers are making those approvals. They'll present those. You'll find out that information, and then you'll have time to really go over and make those choices of what courses you want to take. The great news is freshman year, there's really not that many choices to make outside of leveling. The choices are just that. Would I take an honors course or a college prep course? If you don't get that approval you like, there's also room to have a follow-up conversation. And we go through and we have those conversations. We work out what courses you want to take, and we finalize that somewhere in early March, late February, early March. That allows us to build our master schedule out, and then we'll get your schedules before we begin the year. I mentioned those levels, and we'll talk about those in a second, but I want you to know the typical course load for freshmen are for 7 classes, one of those classes being that freshman seminar. You'll have an additional period, which in the fall, everyone will start off in study hall. If your grades are to a point that you're on one of our honor rolls, second semester, it could be a free period, and we'll talk about that more when you're here on Garth. But freshmen will take that 7-course load. We have the levels, college prep, honors, and obviously advanced placement for upperclassmen. A lot of schools would have a level underneath college prep, but as a college prep school, Randolph, we only have college prep courses. That means there's going to be a level of rigor to all of the courses that you have, even quote unquote electives. Electives on this campus are just classes you choose to take that you aren't required to take for graduation. But that college prep level and then the honors level. Your teachers now will be working with you and discussing what's the right fit for you as we look to next year. And then we may continue that conversation even beyond then. Here's the freshman course load at a glance. Everyone takes an English class, English 9. In math, freshmen come in, and there may be a few who don't fit in this, and your math teachers will talk. But freshmen will take either geometry or honors geometry. In science, the question is biology or honors biology. In world language, it's which language do I want to take between French, Latin, and Spanish. And in Spanish, we have honors and college prep leveling there. Everyone will take World History 1 with Mr. Rayford, a fantastic course. I'll come back to arts, but then everyone takes the 9th grade, the freshman seminar that I mentioned. That'll be the new class this year. In terms of the arts, you really have a couple ways you can go. You could either take a full year of concert band or concert choir. That actually will be your graduation requirement for the entire 4 years you're at Randolph. But we hope if you're obviously participating in band or choir that you continue that beyond that freshman year. If you don't want to go that route, you could take 1 semester of a performing art, that's Theater 1 or Music Fundamentals, and 1 semester of a visual art. The introductory visual art course is Foundations of Art. That's really the prereq for all the other visual arts that will come down the pipe. So this is really the one place where you do have that choice to make. Am I going to take the full year of band or choir, or am I going to take a 1 semester performing art class and a 1 semester visual art class? That's where the biggest decision making comes outside of those leveling decisions. So as you look at it, this is the freshman course load. I mentioned that really the choice there in leveling with your math, science, choice of language, and then leveling there, and then the fine arts choice. That's what the courses will look like for next year. That's a quick overview of life on the upper school campus. I hope this helps. This is not the end of our conversation. We'll be back at some time. Dr. Green and I will be to help you with registration and what that process looks like. We'll also, at the end of the year, on that final day, go through some early orientation before the summer to give you a glimpse really of what life will look like before you get back here to Garth in the fall. So hope this helps early on. Give a little glimpse of what life is like in the upper school. Anytime you have questions or your family have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I come over to Drake a good bit and can meet then. We'll have a meeting with your parents to go over pre-registration, and we'll be talking more as we go through that. So thank you for your time today. Have a great one. Be excellent to each other.